We will live eternally if we obey sound words.
Years ago, I heard a radio announcer read a list of America's bad habits, as they were called. Things like being late for appointments and procrastination were among the list. However, the number one habit that was bad among Americans, lying. Think about that for a moment. Lying? We should be concerned that lying is listed with things like lateness as though they were comparable practices. A habit, you see, is a recurring behavior that is often engaged in repeatedly, sometimes without realizing what one is doing. And while habits may be good or bad, even bad habits are not necessarily synonymous with sinful behavior. For instance, when a person is talking to someone else, he may have the habit of looking over the person's head rather than looking into his eyes. Well, that's certainly not a sin. Being late for appointments is not a good habit, and it needs to be corrected. However, who's prepared to say the late are lost? Lying is a different matter altogether. There are no little lies, no white lies, etc. There are simply lies, and they are clearly condemned in Scripture. Notice Revelation 22:15. But outside are dogs and sorcerers and sexually immoral and murderers and idolaters and whoever loves and practices a lie. Liars are mentioned here with the vilest sinners. This passage teaches that not only will the perverted be in hell, but the prevaricators will also be there. God doesn't list lying as a bad habit. He calls it sin. Would the list I heard the announcer read include murder and sexual immorality as some of America's worst habits? If we can call lying a bad habit, it may not be long until other sins are downgraded to that status by society.
We will live eternally if we obey sound words.